Now we can see it, yeah.
Okay, great. So I will start. For us, sustainable urban mobility is one of the key priorities and one of the problems of the metropolitan area. Cluj-Napoca is a growing city in Romania, so we attract a lot of young people, a lot of IT in experts in Cluj. As you see in the first image, we have a lot of traffic jams and problems in terms of urban mobility. So we decided to have this focus on mobility. We have a urban mobility plan at the metropolitan level, and now we are renewing this urban mobility plan, and we have very ambitious projects in order to solve the mobility at the metropolitan level. So as you can see, this mobility issue is a problem in a lot of European cities, as it is in Cluj. So we think that we need to have a special approach to sustainable urban mobility. So this approach is based on three simple things: public transport, walkable city, and bicycle lanes, increasing the sustainable mobility in city and decreasing the private cars in the city. So we invested till now more than 100 million euros in the public transport fleet, and as you see, we are the first city in Romania that has electric buses. So we have 41 electric buses already in use, and we signed a contract for 24 new tramways. So we will have by the next year all the fleet for tramways will be new and modernized and efficient in terms of consumption. And by 2028, in the presentation is 2030, but we want to be more ambitious, and we want to have 100% electric public transport by 2028. So we will increase the investments in the fleet, and of course we will have a modern fleet, a new fleet, an electric one, but we need to increase also the speed of the public transport in order to assure a viable and an alternative to the private car. So we started to implement bus lanes towards every neighborhood in the city, and we will continue in the near future, and we will have this network of bus lanes in the city in order to increase the speed of the public transport. We also have some smart mobility apps for the public transport. The citizens, they can plan their route, they can see in how many minutes the next bus is coming, and simple things like that. But those apps are increasing the comfort and the predictability of the public transport. Also, we have in each station the panels that shows in how many minutes the next bus is arriving, and the map of the public transport. We are investing also in the intelligent transportation system, software that can help us to see the and improve the red light enforcement, speed enforcement, and video cameras with intelligent analytics that can show us how many cars are on each lane, how many buses, how many bicycles, and even how many pedestrians are in a specific area of the city. We have also Cluj Parking app. But so beside this, the investment in the public transport, in the renewing the public transport transport fleet, an electric fleet. We are investing also in the Walkable City. We think that it's very important to for the citizens to experience the city and to increase the comfort of the pedestrian in the city. So we have already started a large investment program, and I will show you some pictures, some images of before and after the implementation of so many projects in the city. So here is Uniri Square, so it's the central part of the city. You can see a lot of cars, and now it's one of the most attractive parts of the city, before and after. We have launched also some international competition of solution in order to improve the public spaces in the city. So you can see, for example, this is another street in the city center, and as you can see, the parking places will be replaced by a square, by trees, and very comfortable public spaces in the city center, with the objective of having a better mobility and a better quality of public spaces in the city center. This is another example, Ferdinand Street, how it looked, and now we have implemented the dedicated bus lane and bicycle lanes in the city center, and we enlarge also the pedestrian path. As you can see, very quality of the street. So here we have also other example in the street. So we have more than 60 streets in the city that will be and are in process of redesigning in order to be more friendly with the pedestrian, with the bicycles, and I think that this will improve the sustainable mobility in the city. Here are also some examples in the city center. So in the city center, we have a deadline, 2023. We will finish all the streets in the city center, redesign them, transform parts of the city center in a pedestrian area. So I think that by 2023, we will finish the rethinking the city center. Also, we are going then into the neighborhoods with this concept of walkable city, and in the neighborhoods we have some principle that we want to implement. So improving urban comfort, sustainable development, creating the neighborhood unit, and to have a hierarchy of the public spaces. So in the strategy of development of the city and of the metropolitan area, we made more than 60 zones in the city, and we analyze each area in terms of walkability, and we want to have every facility in the neighborhood at a maximum distance of 5 minutes walkable distance. So we will try to have in each neighborhood this concept of creating facilities in the city, sports facilities, green areas, schools, kindergartens, in order to improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods, and to have the need of transportation to be little. So these are some examples of the proposed solution for some neighborhoods in Cluj, and we have already implemented the first smart street in Romania, as it is called by the media. So you can see in the left street, which was used by cars, a lot of cars, and with no pedestrian paths, with no bicycle lanes, and with no green spaces. And you can see now that the project is finished, and you can see that the kids, the people are gaining the public space, and this is this shows that the people are liking the public space. It's safe, it's comfortable, and it's utilized by kids and by everyone. So these are also some images, and these are some other examples in the other neighborhoods projects that are ongoing, and we want to transform the public space in the neighborhoods also. Here you have also some examples. I will go a little bit faster. Also the new urbanism, we have launched international competition of solution for 250 hectares of a new neighborhood, and we want to use the same principles of sustainable development of walkable city, and I think that this is also a measure that the city can take in order to improve the mobility in the city, to have a sustainable urbanism in the future. We have also this ClujBike sharing system. We have more than 2,000 people that are every day are using the system, and I think it's a successful program. Also, another important project in terms of sustainable mobility is the Rethinking the River Somes. We want to create a green couloir of sustainable mobility on the river banks, and this is a project that it will be implemented next year. So we have already signed a contract for financing this project, more than 32 million euros in the first phase, and the next phase we will prepare projects for all the metropolitan area in order to have pedestrian paths and bicycle lanes on the river banks. Here are also some example of how it looks now and how it will be. Also some green bus station, but also we are in terms of e-mobility, we are trying to improve the infrastructure for the e-bikes, for e-scooters, and we planned more than 300 electric charging points in the city. So in the city center, but also in the neighborhoods. And we have now just approved new rules for using the e-scooters in the city, because this can be a solution, but also a problem in the city. And we want to have very clear rules of how we can utilize these new ways of transportation in the city. We have also some big infrastructure project, and of course, in the metropolitan area, we want to have a new metro line and also a metropolitan train that can help us and improve the sustainable mobility in the metropolitan area. Also, we have some new projects, autonomous vehicle with the Technical University of Cluj-Napoca. Now we have finished the consultation phase of the market at the European level. So we want to have the first public transport line in the city that is supplied by autonomous vehicles technology. Also, another new project that we want to have in the city is to have a fleet of hydrogen buses. And next year we will launch the auction for buying at least 20-30 hydrogen buses in the city. So if you have questions, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ovidiu. It has been very inspiring. I can see that you are very advanced in Cluj, and maybe I have one question. What about the other cities in Romania? Like, are there any other cities which are following such a path? Because I think in Cluj you are not only advanced in terms of Romania, but also in terms of Europe. So
yeah, I think that there are a lot of cities that are seeing Cluj as an advanced city, And honestly, I think that we are having the most ambitious sustainable development plan in Romania. But in Romania, also in Cluj, we still have to fight against the old mentality of every citizen wants to have a car, to use the car in the city, to go with the car in the city center. So, but the young generation, it's helping us, and in every debate that we have, they are pro sustainable mobility, and I think this is a very good point. And in the larger city, for example, in Bucharest, and they are having a lot of big problems in terms of mobility. But I think that the direction is a good one, even if in some city is slower than in Cluj.
Thank you. I could see that Anna and Juha from Tampere, they have questions. So I don't know if you want to ask it, Anna, if you don't want me to read it out.
For me, it's the same. Thank you very much for Cluj. Yeah, I was just wondering when I was looking at those pretty pictures, where did you put all the cars and how did you solve that problem? And I think Juha was asking a bit the same. So how did you solve the parking issue?
Yeah. So, for example, we have two strategies. So for the city center, it's very easy to say to the people, and I repeat, we are having also some very important participatory governance tool. So we have a participatory budget every year, but also a center for innovation and civic imagination. So every project that I show you is presented to the public as a concept before it is approved by the municipality, and we are discussing. And this increase very much the awareness in the city, so between the citizens, that we need to transform the mobility in the city, and the citizens are accepting the fact that we cannot do the things in the old way. So in the city center, it's easier to say to the people, okay, you can come to the city center with a bicycle, by foot, or with the public transport. Now you have a very comfort, modern public transport, so it's very clean, it's very fast, you have a dedicated bus lane, so they are understanding. But in the neighborhoods, it's a little bit more complicated. But still, for example, in the Molnar Piaru street, there are 2,000 students there on the street, and we had a debate on the street, and we showed the concept, and we had a discussion with them. Some of them were reticent, so against the project, but a large majority was pro this approach. And I think that one important thing is to discuss and to present the solution to the citizens, and the second one is to think an integrated approach for the neighborhood. So as I show, so in the strategy we have 60 fishes, so very close analyzed in the city. So we will put also, we are building some public parkings, and in the neighborhood, so we are saying to the people, go to the parking and leave the streets for the people, not for the cars. But it's a very difficult, and it takes time. But we are, I repeat, very ambitious in this matter. And in the one of the biggest city, I show you the Molnar Piaru city, the smart street. So we use as a pilot project. And after we finished the project as an integrated project with a lot of smart city elements, with furniture, you can charge your phone there, with smart LED system, with trees, with flowers, everything. So you can show to every citizen that, look, you want this also on your neighborhoods. So so it was a really success. So if you show a smaller project, and after that, all of other citizens, oh, I want this beautiful street also in my neighborhood. So you can enlarge after that the ambitious plan.
Thank you very much. So, do you think the biggest challenge was to engage with people and sort of, foster the behavioral change to, change their mind, which I think is very, very difficult because myself, I'm from the Czech Republic. I lived in Bulgaria, and I know that people, they like big cars, and even if they work very close by, they usually go to work by car, even though there are other possibilities. So I think that this behavioral shift or change is very difficult to implement, and yeah.
But you have to rely on the civil society, on the young people. They want to be active, and they want to be ambassadors of the green mobility. And I think that if you have an honest partnership with the citizens, they will understand. And I want to only to give you, for example, an example that we had in Cluj. So in our mobility plan, we have the strategy to increase the cost of the parking places in the city center. So at the political level, of course, every political man or women will think twice when they need to increase the taxes now in the city. So we propose in the public debates to double the cost of the parking place in the city center. And we were a little bit afraid of how the citizens will react. And in the public debates, there were a lot of voices that, oh, you're not doing a good thing because it's not necessary to double, you need to triple the cost of the parking in the city center. So it was, maybe sometimes we are thinking that the people will not understand, but the reality is that people are understanding very well, and sometimes they want to go in this direction faster than the municipality or the politicians want. So we need only to listen to the citizens and to make an honest partnership with them.
Yes, I totally agree. And I also like that you used two images from Brussels and Paris because I lived in both cities, and I can really tell you that it's like in the pictures, like it's impossible to take the car and go to the city of Paris. Even if you live close by, it will take you an hour at least to get there. So it's always congested, so it's important to look out for other possibilities of transport. And I can see that Marit from Tampere, she has a question more linked to the Ebuses, because in Tampere they are using the same Ebuses. It's Solaris, I think. And she's asking if you have any experiences and about these 41 buses that you deployed, and if you could share these, how they've been working, and if you, for example, I don't know, encountered any issues, technical or others, or if everything is working efficiently.
I think that these buses are working very well till now. We had very small incidents on a charging station or something like that, but the company that delivered they reacted very, very well, and I think that those buses are very well appreciated by citizens. I can see sometimes there are people that see a normal bus approaching, and next to him another electric bus approaching, and they want to jump in the electric bus. So they are also like this new approach of having zero pollution for the public transport.
All right. And concerning funding sources, what have been the main funding sources funding these different measures? I guess, of course, the structural funds, but maybe some other funds that you managed to mobilize for this.
So, I mean, 80–90% these are European funded projects. We need to be honest. So it's a huge advantage for us that we can use the European money in order to go green. And I think this is also the European strategy to go green. But we are using also from the local budget, the complementary projects, a lot of them, and also from the national budget. But mainly the projects are financed by European money.
All right. And I can see that now you're also thinking about deploying hydrogen buses. Do you know when possibly this could take place, or if it's
So with the hydrogen buses, we know that there is it is a very new technology. Yeah. I think that also Germany has some very new technology, but we want also to build a station that produces hydrogen near Cluj, in order to produce ourselves the hydrogen for those 20, 30 hydrogen buses. And also the hydrogen buses, they have a bigger advantage that the electric buses, they have a larger autonomy, and you don't need to change the batteries for the electric. So a better life for the hydrogen buses. But still, now the bad thing is that the technology use a lot of electricity, so in order to produce the hydrogen. But I think we need to be pioneers in this technology, and I think it will be improved in the future.
Yes, I think it starts being deployed now almost everywhere. It's still a little bit expensive, I think, the electrolysis to produce green hydrogen. So
it consumes a lot of electric energy. So in order to produce from water, but I think it's important to have this and to invest in new technologies.
Definitely. I don't know if there are any other questions from the audience or from Tampere. I take it as a no. So in that case,